Good morning. This is Jeff J. Brown, China Rising Radio Sindaland in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Before we get started, please make a donation to the PayPal email listed here or the Fundrazr button. I bring very unique news, information, analysis about today's headlines and where the world is heading. You obviously get some benefit from it, or you wouldn't be here. Anything, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever it is that you can contribute. It's very demoralizing to put in all this work and make less than U.S. minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour, and I'm not even making that. So please make an effort and a donation. Also, you can also help by, and if you're a tech geek, a tech head like me, you can join the Patreon, click on the Patreon button and have access to all of my really cool, cutting-edge videos about Chinese technology and development. This one, thank you. This one is entitled, Kim Iverson Reports the Same Geopolitical Observations About Biowarfare. Your passport has a lot to do with your exposure to COVID-19. The ramifications for you and your loved ones is explained. Pictured above, whether COVID-19 is targeted to attack Western oligarchs' enemies, or it turns out to be a global pandemic, they win either way. Left, a typical Daoist sculpture of hell's starving masses. Right, a vulture capitalist. Let's begin. In my last article/podcast, I said the reason Italy has been attacked by the U.S. with coronavirus is because it joined China's Belt and Road Initiative, the BRI. My good friend, fellow author and journalist John Rachel just sent me this video by Ms. Kim Iverson, which I highly recommend watching. There's the YouTube link, but if you cannot access YouTube, I have uploaded it for you here. She supports what I said, but I do not agree that Washington did not know about Italy's decision to join the BRI. Of course, they knew exactly what Italy was negotiating with China. Mike Pompeo saying he and everybody else were blindsided, quote, blindside him, end of quote, is complete bunkum. The CIA and MI6 have informants and outright agents and spies crawling through every hall of power in Uranglo land, including Rome. That was just to save global face. It was also an indirect way of telling Italy's leaders that there would be a price to pay, which we are seeing with the coronavirus outbreak there. In fact, it's mafia talk. It's the kind of public reaction gangsters make as a warning about revenge. It's like a line out of a Godfather movie. In this case, it's the gangster banksters attacking world leaders, countries who are not their obedient whores for global capitalism. Which also brings us to Iran. Ms. Iverson has some great graphics in her video. Here is a map dated this week showing COVID-19 cases in the Middle East. Just look at the numbers. Iran has over 10,000 in every surrounding country. Next to it, zilch. It sure looks like which passport you carry has more to do with whether your country gets infected with coronavirus than anything else. Next, she shows a couple of maps of COVID case numbers for countries between Iran and China. Statistically, nothing. Check out India with nearly as many people as China, 1.37 billion. Hundreds of millions of Indians are living with poverty, malnutrition, starvation, and without city water and sewage. India should be a petri dish for epidemics. Why almost no COVID cases there? Good question, which I answered in my last article. In the fourth graphic, it shows the same numbers for China and all its neighboring countries. It sure looks like not having a Chinese passport is the bulletproof vaccine against coronavirus. Thus, for the geopolitical ramifications of who gets targeted for biological warfare, I rest my case. Is it possible that the demons at Uncle Sam's DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, could have let a viral germ genie out of its evil test tube with COVID-19 wiping out millions? Absolutely. Western oligarchs have been eugenically foaming at the mouth for over 200 years, since Robert Malthus wrote his book, An Essay on the Principle of Population, in 1798. His population bomb was not about royal families, aristocrats, nobles, and the moneyed 1% elites. All of them were and still are obsessed with you and me, the global 99%, working stiffs and poor, 85% of whom are black, brown, red, and yellow. For Urangloland's oligarchs, we are their dumb, diseased livestock and in terrible need of thinning and improvement. To them we are parasites, non-money making eaters, lazy bloodsuckers, feeding off all their, quote, hard-earned, end of quote, trillions. Or as Hillary Clinton and her ilk like to call us, we are a basket of deplorables. If COVID-19 wipes out millions of us, it's these Urangloland psychopaths who will be doing handstands, high-fiving, and congratulating themselves for their racial and class superiority. You see, it is their manifest destiny, which they richly deserve. They should always have it coming to them. It's the laws of nature, their divine right, the way it was meant to be. After a pandemic, they are the ones who will swoop down like blood-soaked vultures to steal everything you and I have lost for pennies on the dollar. They don't call them vulture capitalists, exploiting disaster capitalism for nothing. Either way, attacking enemies of the West gangster banksters or a global pandemic, they will be laughing and cashing in all the way to their private islands, village-sized yachts, and city-sized estates guarded by private armies. Think of an over-the-top James Bond movie with an impossible plot line. It may be coming true. If you live in a socialist country, count your blessings. If not, you could be left for dead. This is Jeff J. Brown, China Rising Radio Sinoland, signing out.